Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be testing out the brand new Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I am going to be comparing it to the old Ultra HD foundation since this is the new and improved version of this foundation. So I do have one foundation on each side of my face. I want you guys to go ahead in the comments down below before we get started, guess which side has which foundation on it. So I hope you guys are all excited about today's video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, let's go ahead and go over some of the claims of the new HD Skin Foundation, and I'm going to show you guys these two foundations side by side swatch since I did pick up the same shade in the new foundation. So this is the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Longwear Foundation. This is their new and improved formula. So basically this is the new version of the Ultra HD foundation, which was always one of my favorites. Here is what the packaging looks like. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the packaging. I think that the old packaging, it just looked a little more sleek. I don't know. Something about the new packaging I'm not the biggest fan of, but the bottle is glass, whereas the old one was plastic. So whenever you pull off the top, there is a nice pump. I wish they would have just made the top black. I feel like it would have looked better that way. So I picked mine up in the shade 1Y04, which was Y215 in the Ultra HD foundation. So this is supposed to instantly blur the skin. It has a natural finish. It's waterproof and sweat proof. So apparently this can be either like sheer coverage, medium coverage, or full coverage depending on how you apply it. So there is the consistency. It's not like super watery, but it's also not like very thick either. So here's the shade 1Y04 in the HD Skin Foundation, which is the new version. Then we have the original Ultra HD in the same shade Y215. Those do not look like the same shade at all. So if you're Y215 in the old shade, this new shade probably will not match you. So that's a little concerning. And you can definitely tell there's a difference in formula. The Ultra HD foundation is definitely more like watery, and the HD Skin is just a little bit thicker. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and try out the foundation on the face and do one side with each of the foundations to really compare them. All right, so I'm gonna be applying the new HD Skin foundation on one side of my face and then the Ultra HD foundation on the other side, just so we can really compare the two and see if it's actually better. So I have my two sponges here. We're going to start out with the new HD Skin Foundation, and I'm a little worried about the shade of this because it does not look like my old Ultra HD foundation shade in the same shade. So here is it on the sponge. It is a thicker formula than the old version, so it doesn't seem to kind of like go anywhere on the sponge, where the other one is kind of like watery and it will just like run down if you don't start applying it to your skin. So that was one pump, and it actually looks like more than enough to cover this one side of my face. I think I'm gonna have to get a different shade. This one definitely just looks too yellow. I actually meant to buy a neutral shade, and I don't know, I just wasn't using my brain and I accidentally grabbed a yellow shade instead of a neutral. So I think I'm gonna have to get another shade in this foundation if I end up liking it. I really hope that I do like it because I love the Ultra HD foundation. So hopefully this one is good. It actually looks like pretty natural on the skin. I will bring you guys up close in a little bit. The formula seems like nice and thin when you start blending it out, which is very important to me. I love a really nice natural looking foundation, especially for every day. The coverage, it said that it can be built up. So as you can see my blemishes through. So I'm gonna take a little bit more on my finger, and I'm just gonna kind of dab on my blemishes because I wanna cover with the foundation, not concealer. This wear test is going to be interesting because if you guys can't tell, I have like really bad allergies today. So I'm probably gonna be like blowing my nose a lot, and we're gonna see if this foundation holds up on the nose area. Foundations just don't seem to stay on my nose when I have to blow out my nose a lot. All right, yeah, that didn't cover my blemishes very well, but on a normal day, I would just cover my blemishes like with concealer or something. I don't usually rely on my foundation to completely cover them. So now we're going to switch sponges, and we're going to go in with the Ultra HD foundation so we can really see the difference. I know the shades are going to look different. As you can see, the old Ultra HD foundation is very runny, where the new foundation is not runny like at all. So I did one pump of the Ultra HD foundation, and I feel like it's not really going as far as the new HD Skin Foundation. So I went ahead and did like half a pump more on my sponge. So you definitely need more product with the old foundation, which I do remember having to use like quite a few pumps of this to get the desired coverage that I wanted, but it was always worth it because I love this foundation. All right, so here is the HD Skin Foundation, and then here we have the old Ultra HD Foundation. I'm gonna look at this up close, like before I set with powder. Honestly, I'm a little thrown off just because of the color difference. This side is obviously a little bit darker and more yellow than the Ultra HD side, but actually looking at the foundation up close, I feel like I can't really tell a difference. Like as far as how the foundation looks, like it definitely looks very similar. If anything, I would say that the new HD Skin Foundation looks like it has a little bit more coverage, like especially in the cheek area. Whereas on the Ultra HD side, I feel like you can see my redness through on my cheek right here still, probably because this formula is a little bit watery and a little bit more like light coverage than the new HD Skin. So yeah, right now I feel like they look very similar. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and kind of set everything, and then I'll really be able to tell if they look like the same or not. So I'm gonna do that and I will be right back. All right, so my makeup is done. I just went with a kind of like natural look for today with like a blotted lip, simple eye look. I have been looking at my makeup in the mirror, and honestly I cannot really tell a difference between the two sides. If anything, I feel like the old side, like the old Ultra HD foundation, looks just a little bit more natural, and I believe that's because the formula is a thinner, more like watery consistency. So like around my smile lines, I feel like you can't really see my smile line as much as you can on this side that has the HD Skin Foundation, and it's not like sinking into my fine lines or anything. It just, I feel like my smile line on this side looks a little bit more like pronounced than on this side. But yeah, overall I feel like the two sides look like pretty similar. Like you cannot really tell a difference. Okay, here we are, like very close and personal. So this is the new HD Skin side, and then this is the old Ultra HD side. So I personally feel like they look very similar. I just feel like this side has a little bit more coverage, specifically in like the cheek area. I am really curious to see how this one holds up on this side of my nose. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wear this for a little bit, and then I'll come back and give you guys an update. All right, so it's been a while now, and we can really start seeing how the foundation is wearing because I have been blowing my nose like a lot. I have such bad allergies today. So as you guys can see, this is the HD Skin side. It definitely started coming off on my nose after blowing my nose so much. It doesn't look like terrible, but you can definitely see all the spots that it came off, but it obviously did come off in like the same exact area on the Ultra HD side. I would say they look very similar, which kind of surprised me since this one is supposed to be more like long wearing, but they do look pretty similar with how they came off after all of the nose blowing. But on my cheek area, I feel like the HD Skin side looks a little bit better than the Ultra HD side. And if I like touch my face, which I touch my face like a lot, if you like look at my fingers, I feel like you can see the makeup more on the Ultra HD side than on the HD Skin side. So I would say that the HD Skin is just a little bit more transfer proof. It almost looks a little bit more, I don't know, like matte, even though it's a natural finish. It definitely has a little bit more of a long lasting formula than the Ultra HD side, but other than that, they still look pretty similar. So yeah, overall, I would say that I do like the HD Skin Foundation. I'm not the biggest fan of the shade. I don't know what's going on with the shades since these are supposed to be like the same shade. According to the box, at least, it says Y215, which is the same shade as my Ultra HD foundation, but they don't look the same like at all. So I don't know. I feel like you guys would probably have to go in stores to really look at the shades so you don't make the same mistake that I did, because these don't really match. You can even like tell just looking at them in the bottle, they don't look the same, which is weird because this one actually looks lighter in the bottle than this one, but it is darker. But yeah, I would say that the new formula is very good still. Just like the Ultra HD foundation, this was like one of my favorites for so long because I love how natural it looks on the skin. The new formula also looks natural on the skin. It is a little bit thicker, so I would say it doesn't look as natural, but you could always use less and it would probably give the same kind of effect as the Ultra HD foundation. I do like that they did make this foundation more long wearing, so I am excited to keep trying this one out and see how long it can last throughout the day. I really love a foundation that looks like your skin. That's very important to me in a foundation. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys going to be picking up the new HD Skin foundation? But yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I'm going to have both of these foundations linked in my description box below if you guys want to check either of them out. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.